Specification of suppository bases is the origin of the chemical composition. We discussed earlier that these have the suppositories are divided into classified on two basic categories. These are either fatty either fatty bases are used or water soluble bases are used. Yeah, so the origin of the chemical composition reveals whether it's synthetic, semi-synthetic, or natural. Synthetic means man-made, and because there are some suppositories which are reuse chemicals from the natural origin, and some use chemicals that are from the synthetic origin, and some from in between, some which are called semi-synthetic. And then there's the amount of the water needed for 100 grams of fat. This is basically how each suppository should be made. Okay, how the composition of each base suppository, how much water should be used. Amount of water should be according to the 100 grams of fat. Acid value, milligrams of potassium hydroxide needed for 1 gram of a substance containing free fatty acid. Saponification point, mg of milligrams of potassium hydroxide needed to neutralize fatty acids and saponify free acids in 1 gram of fat. Iodine value, number of grams of iodine that react with 100 grams of fat. The difference between the beginning of the melting point and the completion of the completion is called the melting range. While the triglycerides and the fatty bases, suppositories containing fatty bases, do not have sharp melting point. And the melting range should be yeah. Okay, this saponification point, it is the time required to solidify the suppository. The characteristics of the suppositories are that they should have wetting and emulsifying properties. Wetting and emulsifying properties because it has to be, we cannot give them in the solution form. Okay, and we can. They should be melt easily at body temperature, easily formed by compression, and melting should not show polymorphism. They should be non-toxic, non-irritating, sensitive, plus inflamed tissues. They should be compatible with the other medications. Most shrink sufficiently on cooling to release from mold without need of lubricants. They should be stable on storage and order must remain intact. Water number should be high. Acid value should be 0.2. Saponification value must be 0.200 to 245 milligrams. Iodine value should be 7 grams. Interval between the melting point and the solidification point of a base should be minimum, so that when we insert the suppository in our body, it melts if not too readily or steadily. It must at a moderate time period. Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, and one of the why do we use suppositories? It's important to know that sometimes it's difficult for people to intake pills or tablets. It's or any sort of oral dosage forms, so we give them. We usually give them suppositories to relieve them from this paranoia of taking pills and tablets. And sometimes in case of some people might vomit or barf, so the nutrients might be expelled, so it's possible that the medication that they are taking might be expelled out too. And one of the most important that did not have a first pass effect because they do not need to pass from the liver, so the pressure on the strain on the kidneys and liver is strained. And one of the other reasons is that they are absorbed faster, because if we take it from mouth, then and it needs to be broken down, and then it is digested and then it is used. However, when it is inserted directly into the urethra, vagina, or rectum, it needs not to be broken down.